the Tristen Law Show. If it's your first time here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Tristen Law, semi-retired pro wrestler. Today, I'm your host. You ever watch a WWE storyline and wonder, did a human actually write this? Well, what if the answer is no? What if the next big WrestleMania main event was brainstormed by ChatGPT? Today on the show, we're diving into the jaw-dropping reports that WWE has hired a tech strategist to bring AI into creative meetings. I am not alone today. I'm here with the first lady of the Tristen Law Show. I'm here with Jess, the captain, and we're going to be talking about all this today. Jess, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, America? What is going on? And today, this is a very actually great episode, Trish. I feel like this is going to be so excellent. As a writer myself, if y'all don't know, I actually do write news articles and things like that. It's very important that we actually sit down and discuss the pros and cons of artificial intelligence, aka AI. So it's here to stay, guys. There's nothing we can do about it. So we need to adapt and adjust, right?
I agree. And I think today that we're going to be talking about the real experiments with AI writing storylines, a deal that the WWE has with a company called Writer AI, and get this. They've already have scripts that are so bad. You may not get the reference, Jess, because you're a new school pro wrestling fan, but they have scripts that are so bad that they make the Shockmaster look like Shakespeare wrote it. But here's the big question. Is this the future of wrestling? Is this the future of entertainment, or is this just a glitch in the Matrix?
Is it? Honestly, it could go one or two ways, because as a writer myself, now you are kind of eliminating writers. You know what I'm saying? But however, writers nowadays are not as creative as they used to be. You know what I'm saying? I will agree to a lot of the fans that it has become tired. We're going through the same storylines over and over and over again. Boom, somebody gets hurt. We don't right now with Jacob Fatu. Boom. He was supposed to wrestle Drew McIntyre on SmackDown Friday night, correct?
Yes.
All of a sudden, when he was about to come out, you see that you got a few missing teeth on the floor, blood everywhere, and you got, I guess that was a stand of some sort laying on his back. And now everybody's like, oh my God, who attacked Jacob? I mean, come on now. It's starting to get just a bit tired. So it could be desperation and it could be innovative, because you can also get matches that we would never in our wildest dreams ever see.
Well, I think this all happened, right? This all started because WWE hired some guy named Cyrus Kowarski, and he's the senior director of creative strategy in the WWE. He's an ex-BuzzFeed One championship guy that led creative strategy there. He previously worked, like I said, in BuzzFeed, and later won championship. I couldn't figure out what one championship was. No, one championship was some kind of combat sports thing, and that's where he helped integrate technology into storytelling and fan engagement. But he's not new to the WWE, Jess. He was in the WWE in 2012 as an intern. I found it on his LinkedIn. You see what a Google search can really do for people in America? Where it's not. Hold on. Gotta buzz myself. Not a political podcast, but he was known for pushing.
That's not political. That's common sense, Trish. I'm sorry.
But Cyrus was known for pushing data-driven creative tools and experimenting with machine learning content pipelines. So BuzzFeed used AI for quizzes, article headlines, tone testing, and he was hired by WWE last month to modernize its creative operations, blending analytics, fan sentiment data, and tech into storyline development. And reports are that he reports directly to Triple H and the upper creative committee rather than talent relations. So the guy seems like he knows what he's doing.
Yes, absolutely. He knows what he's doing, but at what cost? At what cost in the creative integrity of people? What is the risk? What is the cost here? Yeah, you'll get more assistance. You know what I'm saying? You already was using it. You were checking to see when's the last time somebody wrestled, right? You're organizing the production process. You've already technically been using the tool, technically, right? But to officially use it because y'all are becoming lazy, it's a bit crazy to me. I'm sorry. I'm kind of double-edged sword about it, because I'm like, yeah, you could come up with some amazing matches.
True.
A lot of people on social media, they was like, they're spreading this rumor that one of the wrestlers that might be integrated with AI is Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, Bobby
right?
Lashley. Yeah. From the Hurt Business.
Bobby Lashley. Like, they're going to bring him back, and he's going to be wrestling.
But that's not happening. He's in AEW, and I think he's happy in AEW, Jess. And that's the whole crazy thing about AI, and we definitely want to get into that a lot more later on. But this guy Cyrus, they gave him a mandate: integrate AI into WWE storytelling, and they felt that they could use AI to transform the creative workflow into an AI assisted system. I'm not going to lie, Jess. I am a one-man show when it comes to putting this whole show together. No offense. You I love that you're here. And when I said I'm a one-man show, I mean from the point of putting together the whole episode, from the thumbnail and everything else like that. If I had to do that myself, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. So I utilize AI. I don't want to say that I give all the work to AI, because that would be 100% lie. But sometimes, you know what? I need a little bit of inspiration for what the thumbnail should look like. I need a little bit of inspiration for what the intro and the outro might want to sound like, you know. So I use that there. You know, AI is not new. This whole machine learning thing, your biggest favorite brands, not including the WWE, are already using it. I learned that watching the news, they use AI to create images for them as well too. When I mean images, I don't mean like false images depicting wrong things, but even something as simple as this, you know, that was created by AI, you know. So I wanted to try it out, and I said, you know what, we are going to implement AI into this episode just so everybody can see what it does. You know, like you were saying, some of the first AI drafted scripts, you know, it was used to speed up brainstorming and continuity tracking. Like AI in this day and age right now, I think that AI in this day and age right now, that it is an assistant. But yeah, essentially it's going to become your coworker. It's going to be the person that works with you. You know, I said, you know, not the person, but it's going to be the tool that works with you as your coworker. You know, like I have a friend, Jess, and one of my friends says, oh, well, you shouldn't be using AI for anything because, you know, AI is taking jobs. But you understand that 100 years ago, I'm lying, not 100, but at least 70 years ago, when you used to call somebody on the phone, you would have to pick up the phone and they go, who you calling? And you're going to say, hi, I want to call Jess in where she lives. 1 second, please. And then they would connect the call. So it's not a new thing that jobs get eliminated by AI. It's just a part of how we progress as a society.
And that's what most fans are skeptical about. Yeah, even me, I was like, are you really going to take the person's job? Are you going to dilute the human drama and the unpredictableness that we love and enjoy in wrestling and wrestling storylines? That's all. Really, that's all. Like, let's talk about it. Like, if we're going to talk about the articles they've been talking about, they was like, maybe somebody, and this is on Cage Side Seats, there was like, maybe pro wrestling should be left up to us humans in the face of WWE AI inevitable shift. And I'm like, some of it, the emotion behind it,
True.
Yes, absolutely.
True.
But
because AI doesn't get emotion. AI doesn't know what it's like to be a human. AI understands that humans cry. AI understands that humans are happy, but they don't really understand it, right? Because they're being taught all these things. You know, like I've used AI to try to create stories just to see what it can do. And AI can't replace certain things like comedy. AI just doesn't get what funny means. It understands funny, but it doesn't know what funny means. Like, look, what WWE did, right? is that they used they signed a deal with Writer AI to train models on decades of archives. So they're probably going way back to when Jesus was a child, right, in pro wrestling.
Okay.
And Writer AI is a San Francisco-based company that builds custom large language models for enterprise storytelling. I took a test for a job recently, and I used AI. I used ChatGPT I build custom GPTs for myself. I built a custom GPT, Jess, that I used to train me on how to answer the questions on the test. So I would say, okay, let's talk about this today, and it would feed me questions, and I would answer them. But let me give the chat some love real quick. Fernando says, "Good afternoon, Tristen." Good afternoon,
Hey,
Fernando.
Trish. Hey, Fernando.
Hey, Jess. And Fernando says that AI writing wrestling storylines is a stupid idea. You know what, Fernando? Hold on to that. Let's get to the end and see what we think. But, you know, this whole thing now, right, this Writer AI, WWE is granted access to archive show scripts, you know, match rundowns and promo scripts dating back to the mid-'80s. This model is being, it's going back to the Vince McMahon era. The era that most of us said that pro wrestling wasn't all that good, and you want to feed it pro wrestling from then?
Right. You think what I'm saying? I was like, okay, so really, what was the reason? Because you guys want to create matches that in our wildest dreams will ever happen. Like, for example, what's his name? Dustin Rhodes? Who Cody's dad?
Oh, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes. Can you imagine turning on Raw and you see Dusty Rhodes walking down the runway, and he's about to fight
John Cena?
John Cena or the Undertaker or some shit. The Undertaker, and we have just recently seen the Undertaker. We know what he looks like now.
That's true.
All of a sudden, you come on TV, you're looking at these wrestlers that we know that are either retired or they look different now. True. They're coming down that walkway the same as they were in their prime of whatever era they were in. They're coming down there in their prime, and they're about to fight an unbelievable match like like with Big Show or somebody that's, you know, no longer with us. Like, it's like, it sounds cool and it sounds great, but at what cost? Well, is the Rhodes family going to benefit from this? Or is all of that money going straight to WWE's pocket?
Well, if they're using somebody's likeness, I'm sure that WWE has to pay for it. But there's a lot more things that when it comes into copywriting of AI. But let me just go ahead. Maria's in the chat. What's going on, Maria? Thank you for being here with us today. She says that if this AI story is true, it's bad and it's a lazy idea. To an extent, the same thing I told Fernando. Hold on to that. And there's also a poll going on. 67% of people says that no, WWE should not use AI to create storylines, while 33% say yes, that they should. Jess, when you're looking at this whole entire thing, right, the way that they're using the AI, it's supposed to be, you know, early testing involves feeding it prompts like book a return feud for a major superstar who's been gone 6 months, or write a babyface promo after betrayal. Now, you see, those things, I'm not totally opposed to it. I'm saying that if you're going to use AI, you should be using AI for some sort of inspiration. Do not remove the human touch from it. The human touch is so important to all of this. Jess, I'll be honest, and like you know me, we've known each other a short time, but you know I'm not a gatekeeper of information. What I do is that I take every episode and I download it from YouTube. And then I upload it to a program, and then I have it create a transcript on what we talked about. Then I take that transcript and I upload it to ChatGPT, and I say, figure out moments that are emotional, that were educational or entertaining, right? And I take those and turn those into clips. Right, because if I had to sit there and make a mark on what's going on and remember where and watch the whole video again, there'd be no videos ever coming out for people to see. AI
save time.
Right, it does save time.
It saves the time, because I think about that. You know, I think about us as producers as well. Like how many hours, ladies and gentlemen, we're sitting here on YouTube. Think about it. Think about your last video, your last podcast edit. How long did it take you guys to edit it, to break it down into reels, to make sure that you you're recording it right. You don't have to re-record something else.
True.
Like, make sure everything is exactly the way you want it. How long did it take? When I was in college, 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours.
True.
And that's one video.
True.
That's just one video. Now, and so I'm just like, no, if you want to use AI just to make it easier, great.
Right.
But as you said, just don't take away the emotion
from it.
The humanization.
Because AI doesn't understand that. Jess, I still, even though I told the world right now how I make the YouTube shorts and the TikToks, whatever they called on TikTok, right? How I make those videos, I still go in there myself. And I say, okay, these are the timestamps that have been identified. Let me go ahead and watch it to see if I even enjoy it as a human being. And most times it makes mistakes. I'm like, I don't like that. I wouldn't even want to watch that, right? So AI is very helpful. Like you said, early AI generated scripts that were absurdly bad. One pitch involved Bobby Lashley from AEW returning as a samurai-obsessed character, even though he's not even with the company.
Come on, man. Like, I'm just saying, I know we're not a political podcast. I know that. But at some point, it can get there. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It could get very racial. It could be very misogyny. It
Depends.
Could be, it
Depends.
It could.
Because sometimes like I've tested ChatGPT to see what it could do and what it can't do, and it's when I try to have it right, I say, let me see if I can write like a risky story. It won't. Or sometimes I say, hey, I'm thinking about making a thumbnail with this person or that person in it. All of a sudden, it starts trying to create it for me, and it says, oh, I can't do this because of copyrighted content. I can't. Oh, you know what's funny? 2 weeks ago, I want to tell somebody about the 10 crack commandments from Biggie, never get high off your own supply. I better stop before I get flagged on YouTube. But it wouldn't let me even look at it because it said, oh, it's copyright. So yeah, there could be misogyny, there could be racism in it, but remember, it's still programmed by a human at the end of the day. Another thing, another rumor.
That would close it off. That would close that gap. So AI is not 100% ran by AI. There are like some humans behind it saying that, no, this ain't right. I'm not about to do this.
So some people described, some internal testers, they described the whole output of writer AI as fan fiction on steroids. Over detailed, repetitive, and emotionally flat. Emotionally flat. Speaking about emotionally flat, Fernando says that, and AI, and I'm not saying that Fernando's emotionally flat, but listen to what I'm saying. Fernando says that everyone wanting AI to write wrestling storylines has seen too many sci-fi movies. I agree. I agree, because you know what? If AI starts doing all of the work, you don't Triple H is going to sit back there and just type the whole thing using ChatGPT and go, all right, there it goes. ChatGPT is still not perfect. Fernando also says everything positive you mentioned about AI doesn't justify AI writing wrestling storylines. You're 100% right.
That is very much true.
You're right.
Now, my rebuttal about that is now it depends on the person who is reading these scripts, reading this storytelling. Now, let's forget the whole idea of Bobby and all these other wrestlers that may or may not come back because of AI. Let's say Bianca gets a script, 100% generated AI, and she likes it, but she decides that, you know what, yeah, I like it, but I'm going to put my own emotion. I'm going to put my own character in there. It's not going to be a problem. How will we know it's AI generated if these wrestlers or their characters, make it their own? You feel what I'm saying, Trish? Like,
I get 100% what you're saying. I don't disagree with anything that you're saying.
I was like, that's the only way this is going to work, is that the people on the roster, they get it and they're like, all right, it's AI made, boom. So now I have to put my humanization in there. I have to put my own feels and my own twist into it, so people won't know that this is AI generated.
So
I don't know. This is so good. I'm curious to see where this is going to be in like 2030.
Me too. But I just don't want AI to write a whole entire WrestleMania. But okay, look. We've got a robot throwing out samurai gimmicks, and Vince isn't even involved anymore in the WWE. Let's talk about why WWE is doing this and what they hope to gain. You know, one of the things that they're looking at is that Triple H, Uncle Paul himself, he believes that AI in AI storytelling in the WWE, he believes that it's inevitable. He believes that it's the change of time. Paul Triple H Levesque has publicly said that wrestling has to evolve creatively the same way that it evolved technologically. Jess, what do you think about that?
Okay. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. Every day, technology is doing more and more amazing things, right? And you don't want to be left behind. You don't want your views to go down because you're not keeping up with the times. I don't know. I don't know how y'all are, but I'm sure y'all have all seen the movie I, Robot.
Don't do that.
Or the.
Don't do that.
Wait, no, not like that. Just follow me. Walk with me.
I'm gonna walk with you.
You've seen that. You've seen The Adventures of Pluto Nash. Have you seen that movie with Eddie Murphy?
Oh yeah, the Disney movie.
Right, and how there's something I'm going with this. We got to do it hand in hand. Eventually, we're all going to have to work together, right? My whole point is that we're all going to have to work together. They have no emotion. It's AI. It's a robot. They don't get it. So what we got to do, we got to teach them. We got to teach it, show it, so that way, and give it. Be the AI should just only be an assistant, not the author.
True. I agree. And let me tell you this: everybody's saying that AI is going to take over the world, and it's going to, you know, I guess I have to say it this way because I'm on YouTube. AI is going to unalive everybody. If we're so worried about AI unaliving everybody, what about people are doing a great job with that? All AI has to do is sit back and just wait for us to finish the job.
Absolutely. Again, goes back to...
Damn, should I give myself a hand clap for that?
I think you should, because, I mean, that was the plot of iRobot, wasn't it?
Right.
At the end of the day, if you just allow it to just do everything and we become lazy and can't think for ourselves and use common sense and critical thinking skills, then it's gonna all the way take over. I can't remember. There was another movie. It was the Terminator? Animated.
Oh, okay.
No. It was animated, and like technology and AI had taken over the whole world, and humans were sitting in chairs, like, you know.
Oh, you're talking about WALL-E. I love that movie. Let me get
WALL-E.
I love me some WALL-E.
I was like, dang, and that's what they were saying. Disney, that's Disney telling you,
right?
Look, AI is coming.
It's coming.
We can't stop it.
But
if y'all not going to use it, if y'all not only going to use it for its minimal potential, we're going to get fat, lazy, and too dependent on it. But let's go back to what we're here to talk about, which is
right.
the storytelling. The storytelling of it. That's why it just should only be an assistant. Speeding up this is the pros of it. It'll speed up the workflow. It'll reduce the man hours, and it will just help us think more human, more humanized. Like, look, all I just need is a general idea. Like, okay, all right, this is my prediction.
Give us your prediction, because I want to get to the chat, because Maria's got some hot fire right now in the chat.
Like, I'm just using the whole Jacob thing, right?
Jacob
what
Fatu?
What if the generated story is Randy Orton? Randy Orton attacked Jacob because he stepped to Cody for the world championship, for the world heavyweight championship, right? And it pretty much, we're just doing the whole Jade, Naomi, Bianca thing.
True, we just took the shoe off and put on a different foot.
Do you really think, come on now, you think about how long that took? I can only imagine how long that took them to come up with an idea like that. Meanwhile, AI came up with that in a matter of 2 minutes.
Well, let me say this then. So Maria said, and you know what? I appreciate Maria. For those of you that don't know or not here all the time, you know, I am building a community to where you can voice your opinions and not be ridiculed. Nobody takes offense to it. We're just having a discussion like grown adults. And Maria says that Triple H is full of BS. He sounds like a sellout and using the old line of "you have to evolve with the future." She continues by saying, AI writing wrestling has nothing to do with having to get with the times. Maria, thank you so much for your comments today.
Yeah, girl, you on fire, girl.
Definitely is. But they say that Triple H is also interested in AI-assisted tools that can track feuds, continuity, and other character logic across multiple brands. Yeah, I guess so. That's right. You know, I tried using an AI thing just to see how it works. I said, hey, what if I took every rundown and created took every transcript and put it into a file so that I can be like, when did I talk about, Cody Rhodes being really a heel? I can call back to that episode. But I'm like, you know what? I decided not to do it because A, it was way too much work. Maybe when I become rich, I'll pay somebody to do it. Maria, you looking for a job? But I feel that I still like going through the episodes because sometimes I like going through those old episodes and I'm like, damn. I said that, like, oh, how much I've grown. I don't want to go to that old episode, or I don't want to have to be like, okay, cool. It said I talked about it in season 3 in episode 15. So great. So now I don't have to go back and look at it. No. What if it's wrong? But WWE it sees itself as an entertainment tech brand. That's what it sees itself as. It's not a wrestling company, and this fits the corporate vision of innovation under TKO. Look, every single company in the world right now is implementing AI one way or another. I spoke with my friend, and my friend was telling me, because I used to be, I'll tell people because I don't work there anymore. I used to be, high up in Walmart. I was management. I was working for the corporate office, and I'm telling him, like, yo, bro, you should probably learn how to use AI to streamline parts of the job because it's coming to your job. It's coming to Walmart, whether you believe it or not. And then he calls me yesterday and say, yo, bro, you remember when you told me a year ago to start you learning how to use AI? He goes, yeah. I go, yeah. He goes, well, they just mentioned that they're now implementing AI in the job flow. I'm like, yeah, I know. But the thing that people need to understand though, Jess, is that AI is not new. The reason why, Jess, I found you on Threads is because of AI. AI felt that whatever it is that you've talked about in the past, and whatever it is that I've talked about in the past, that we should be one. And then we started talking. I'm like, yo, you cool. Too bad you don't live across the street.
Too bad, man.
They have anybody that's watching this channel right now, the Tristen Law Show, 9 times out of 10, like Maria, I think Maria said she ended up here because she was on YouTube and it just recommended the video. You're here because of AI. You're not here because I came to your front door and said, hey, Fernando, what you doing on Monday at noon? You want to come watch the Tristen Law Show? That wasn't a conversation that was had.
He looked me up in the yellow pages. Y'all probably too young for that.
That's right. You probably too young for that. But
no, I'm not. No, I'm not. Actually, I'm not. Like I'm a part of the era. I call myself the last era.
Oh yeah.
So I'm the last generation to enjoy outsides. The last generation to have like cord and cordless phones. The last generation of dial-up.
Okay.
When you had to.
And I think I was the first generation of dial-up because when the internet came out, I was like in like 6th grade when they was like, hey, go use this thing called the internet. And my favorite place was to go to WWE.com, WWF.com.
Hey, man. I was like, yeah, wait, I'm sorry. Right, Trish. Our audience is probably like twice younger than us. They don't know nothing.
Actually, knowing your analytics, and I was telling somebody on Threads the other day, I said, if you don't know your business, if you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. And the people that watch the show are between 25 to 44 years old, primarily in the United States, with the 2nd and 3rd place countries being the UK and Canada.
Nice. Okay.
And mainly men.
Gen X and millennials. That's good.
Yeah. We're talking to people within our age group. But the thing too, though, right? Going back to talking about AI, you got to remember when we're talking about WWE doing innovations and stuff like this is the same company that built a global streaming empire before anybody thought it would work. WWE likes being first. They were the first person to really take pay-per-view and put pay-per-view in his head. But the issue with WWE, you being a writer, the issue with WWE is that WWE is non-unionized. There's more freedom to experiment in Hollywood. Unlike a Hollywood studio, WWE writers, they're not in the WGA, they're not SAG-AFTRA. They can legally use AI-generated material without violating labor rules. There's no creative union, means that no strike risk, no oversight on AI's role. WWE can test controversial ideas quietly without public disclosure. The financial incentive, less human labor equals fewer creative hires and shorter turnaround times. Look, Jess, You have to admit it. When people complain, oh, I don't like going to Walmart because self-checkout's everywhere. As a manager that worked at Walmart, you know why I love self-checkout?
Why?
Self-checkout didn't have friends to go hang out with, so they didn't call out. Self-checkout didn't get sick. Self-checkout didn't need a lunch break. Self-checkout was always on time. It's from a guy that was late. Self-checkout was always on time to work. So so people complain that they don't like the technological advances to way the world is going. Remember when you go to Walmart and you're standing on a lawn, because some Walmarts don't have registers. I mean, don't have self-checkouts because the theft is way too high. But just remember, when you're standing on the line could be a lot shorter because y'all saying hire somebody. In the town that I lived in, right? The town that I worked in for Walmart, we done, between us and Sam's Club, we done hired the whole entire town. There's nobody left to work. We were literally going back to the old, we were literally spinning the block with people.
And then think about this, Trish. It's like first you're complaining that the workers, us humans, we're either too slow, right? You just said it, like they're not working, they're sick, or they're just moving too slow. Right. Look, we got Giant here where I'm at. Okay, and we have self-checkouts, right? And I see people all the time complaining with the humans. They, instead of going to the self-checkout, they go over to the humans. Why? Because, I don't know, they want the human experience, or because they got more than 15 things in their cart. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows the reason why they're doing it? But the simple fact of the matter is that you can't please everybody. You can only do what's best for you and your company. Yeah, it's a risk. It's a risk that you might, a theft might be there, but you see how they have combated that, right? Like, I'm just going to use Walmart.
I used to be the person at Walmart catching people stealing. Great job, by the way.
See,
I used AI to catch people stealing internally. I used AI to track trends to see what people are stealing, and I would watch the cameras. I'd watch the air. I'm like, oh, look, somebody's stealing that. So like AI, it can help, but like you're talking about, there's so much work. WWE produces 7 hours of live programming weekly. That's Raw, SmackDown, NXT, premium live events, and digital shows. They over 7 hours of live events. AI could serve as a continuity base, tracking past storylines, rivalries, injuries, and promo history. You know, some of the uses that people say, suggesting storyline callbacks, because WWE right now, they're telling stories like you're watching Game of Thrones. Generate alternate versions of promos or social posts for localization. That's perfect, right? Because I don't speak any language, other language other than English. But from what I understand, if you're in another country and I look at the analytics, there are people that watch the Tristen Law Show in the language they speak in India. I don't want to be disrespectful, so I don't know, what is it? Hindi? Whatever it is. How about I just go back to what I was going to say?
I don't want to be there.
They watch it in the language that they watch it in India. And our mouths still move, but the language comes out. You know, so I think from a business standpoint, AI could definitely, it could cut staffing costs to reduce creative burnout, but people still need to watch it. You can't get rid of people all the way.
No, you can't. No, and they're not. And I don't think the idea was to get rid of people altogether. It was just, like we said, to make life easier for this thing. Let's think about our boy Michael Cole. Can you imagine how easier his life would be as a play-by-play?
True.
If all he needed to do is look on his script, and all he has to do is read off that script and figure out where he's going to say what.
True.
Him and Wade and Corey. I feel like this would be so much easier for them. That look, this is the show. This is how we're going to run it. And that all of that, you don't have to keep looking down, looking up, looking down, looking up, looking over here, making sure they don't fall on your ass because they don't threw you off into the ring. Like, come on, y'all. There is so many pros, but I understand the risk, but I don't think but the risk seems minimal nowadays.
Right. And the thing too is that Hollywood, like I said, Hollywood studios, they're already using AI for first draft screenplays and dialogue tools. But, WGA contracts now limit that due to backlash. Ubisoft, who makes video games, they got Ghostwriter AI that writes NPC dialogue. It's used for filter lines, but not main storyline arcs. These industries prove one thing, that AI is useful for scale, but soulless for story. And WWE seems to be learning learning this in real time, balancing innovation with authenticity.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Finish it. So I guess my question for you, as a retired pro wrestler,
semi-retired, I might go back.
Huh?
Semi-retired, I might go back.
Semi-retired.
That's right.
All right. So you are semi-retired, and you was to go back. Would you be okay with this? Would you be okay with, hey, Paul calls you up and say, Trish, look, I like your face. I like what you represent. Can I use your likeness in a Raw match where you are going to get paid and you get to live your dream, and guess what? You get to wrestle The Rock.
But I'm not actually wrestling The Rock.
But you're not actually. Nah. Your AI generated person is wrestling The Rock.
Don't sign me up for that.
You have all the creativity. You writing the story here.
That's a really good question. Let me tell you this though. For me, being a wrestler is looking at WrestleMania 17, watching the Dudley Boys come out, and just the whole entire arena going crazy for them. For me, it's Daniel Bryan's his yes movement. For me, it's Kofi in Kofi Mania. For me, it's the Hardy Boys returning to WrestleMania in Orlando. For me, those are the moments that give me goosebumps that I'm addicted to as a semi-retired pro wrestler. As a wrestler, that's what I'm addicted to. I would not want AI to go out there and do it for me. I want to be in the ring, to go out there, and I'm getting goosebumps. The hairs on my head are standing up right now. To think about going out there and just hearing people just boo me, because that's the reaction that I prefer, because I was always a heel. Like, for me, that means that, you know what? I've connected with you as a fan in a way that is so emotional that you've decided that, you know what, you're going to react audibly. Going out there into the wrestling ring and you're wrestling, but you know what? The crowd is quiet, but they're not really quiet because they're bubbling. They're getting ready to erupt. For me, that's the thing. That's for me why I would never want to give up everything to AI. But the thing that is that the balance with the whole thing is already dividing the locker room and the fan base, because AI is WWE's latest cost-cutting gimmick and is just dressed as buzzwords. Let's go to the chat real quick. We're really in this conversation. Let's go to the chat.
Yeah, we're deep in it, man, brother Pulse.
I love it. Hey, yo.
Hit my bad.
But I like that Fernando and Maria, they always exchange the salutations in the group. But they always say, hey, what's going on to each other. But Fernando says, this is why wrestlers and writers need to unionize. WWE is trying to release human employment, and I find it disgusting. Maria says that writing storylines is just something that has become so hard that it needs to AI, let's be real. You know what, Maria? Damn, you're going to get a hand clap for that. I agree. Yeah, I don't think it's that hard.
She cooking.
Yeah, she cooking today. But you see, the whole thing, though, right, to piggyback off what Fernando said. Fernando says that, again, this is why wrestlers and writers need to unionize. WWE is trying to release human employment, and I find it disgusting. Let me tell you why that's not going to work, Fernando. Fernando, that's not going to work. It's a great idea, and I agree with you. As a semi-retired pro wrestler, I agree with you. But I don't feel it's going to work, because there's always somebody willing to do it without being in the union. There's always somebody that's willing to say, well, you know what? I'm willing to take less money and do it this way. When I was a manager at Walmart, getting mistreated as a manager at Walmart, I used to always tell the other managers, you know what? No matter what happens, no matter how much we talk about we dislike the job because of how they treat us, that there's always one of the people that work for us, that work with us, our employees, that are willing to take our job because of the amount of money that they pay. So it's inevitable, like we're talking about, it's not inevitable. It's something that you can't avoid. It's unavoidable. Yes, Fernando, you're 100% right. And you get a hand clap for that, because I haven't given you one in a while. The thing that I'm saying is that, yeah, you're 100% right. It's disgusting, but there's always somebody willing to do it without the union. There's always somebody willing to stooge it off, like Hulk Hogan, but I said I wasn't going to talk about him anymore. But let's talk about how the human touch is reacting to all this, because fans, writers, and even wrestlers are already speaking out. You got Lance Storm, who I really enjoy following him on Threads. He is a breath of fresh air on Threads. If people are not liking Triple H or Kane for whatever reason it may be, he's a good one to follow. But Lance Storm says that AI lacks the originality and only remixes history. I agree. Sami Zayn cryptically tweeted out, "Nobody asked for AI. The Wrestling Observer, AV Club, Cage Side Seats, they're all skeptical or they're all mocking. For us, Jess, we're not mocking. We are analyzing. Reddit and X fans have clowned the concept. Some say the AI ideas can't be worse than past booking. You know what? They're damn right. And others worry it will lead to robotic, soulless stories. Let's be honest. If AI booked better than Vince, half of Twitter would defend it like, well, let's give the robots a chance."
Right. But here's the problem. It just goes back to what I said again. It only will be emotionless if the person who they're playing, the AI person, has no emotion. You see what I'm saying?
And AI doesn't have emotion.
No, right. But that's that. But that just takes the person who's going against it. They're not going to do AI all the way.
True. I hope not.
You know what I'm saying? It's not. Because, first of all, it's television. First of all, I feel like we are not technologically available where AI is going to be on television, like live television, like SmackDown or something like that. Now, Netflix,
no, it's on live television to an extent. You've seen it. Remember when Americano El Grande came out, your boy? Remember when he came out, they had the whole entire thing, the story that they created for him coming from Mexico and stuff like that. Yeah, that was all AI created, all the images.
Forget that.
Yeah, so AI is not new to WWE. Somebody said, hey, let's try this. Let's see how it works. But I'm asking everybody right now, and wow, it's overwhelming. I don't think there's ever been a poll that's been this overwhelming. It says
this is an important subject
because
it really it's telling us where we are going
as a society,
nation when it comes to technology, because it is very skeptical, and I am totally 100% with everybody. I see the skepticism of taking away the humanization, but I also see the benefits of it, of making our lives just a tad bit easier, because we're always talking about being overworked,
right?
Overwhelmed,
underpaid.
And underpaid. And all of that. So what if we're going to start getting paid more because they're using our likeness? They're not going to do that. They're not going to take your likeness for free unless you let them.
Well, the poll says, should WWE use AI to create storylines? Overwhelmingly, 75% of the people say no. 0% say that they're not sure, and 25% say yes. 25% say yes, 75% say no. Maria says that I can't see you playing a heel. You seem way too nice and sweet. Let me tell you something, Maria.
Boy, that boy gonna go like this.
When I was a heel, I never forget the first time. So when you go to independent pro, you ever been to an indie pro wrestling show, Jess?
I have. I've been to two.
Okay.
2 in my entire life, but I get it.
So I tell you, when you go to an indie pro, I tell people when they go to indie pro wrestling show, you can get a ticket for a quarter of what the WWE is charging you. You can sit almost anywhere, right? And you get the ability to meet the wrestlers doing intermission. So I never forgot when I came out, and I came out to sell T-shirts, and I saw the kid, and I said, "Hey, how's it going?" And the kid looks at his dad, and the kid's father says, "You see, I told you he was a nice guy. He was only pretending." That's when I made the conscious decision, Maria, to never go out there again, because look, I worked in customer service, and I had to be a certain way to people all day long. And I enjoyed being around the fans. I enjoy sitting here and talking to you, Maria, talking to you, Fernando, Universal, Heel, Vega, anybody that's watching this. I thoroughly enjoy that. But the thing is that I still had a persona to maintain, so I stopped coming out. So yeah, am I really a nice, sweet guy? Look, I do nice things for people all the time. My friend was telling me last night, he said, you know what, bro? You should be a role model of friends. I said, what do you mean? Because I was telling him, Jess, about what I want to do with the Tristen Law Show, the whole channel and stuff like that. He goes, A person like you that sits around and thinks about how you can help other people eat and succeed, he goes, you're a really good friend for that. I said, look, bro, I saw how MC Hammer did it, and I learned from his mistake. I don't want an entourage who just, who's dead weight. I want people that's going to come, they're hungry, they're going to work, and we're all going to make money, we're all going to eat. So when I say, hey, Maria, do you want a job? I'm not really joking. Maybe somewhere in the future, you may be the person that becomes like the moderator for the chat. I don't know, something down the line. But you know what? Let's take a look. Let's take a look back. Let's pull back and take a look at the big picture, because wrestling isn't the only industry that's trying to hand the pen to the machine. But in 17 days, Jess, we've got Streamomania coming on. And I want to show everybody the video in case you didn't know about Streamomania. 17 days is coming up. Here's the video. Nope, still can't find the video. I am streaming a video. Okay, well, it looks like we can't get you the Streamomania video today.
Well, if you do want to see it, though, please visit one of our older ones. Like our last episode is right there.
That's right.
I'm just saying.
It didn't go anywhere.
And check out our social medias. We do also have it there. Please join us.
Yeah, well, I guess we're not going to go into the Streamomania video today. You don't got to worry about it. But in 17 days, we've got Streamomania coming. I think it's going to be a really good thing for everybody to participate in. I got the promo hotline set up, just for you guys, so that you guys can call and be a part of the show. I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say, because hour five is just for you. 973-826-0101, and you can call and talk about anything. Ask any question that you want to hear. Maria, I'm looking to hear from you. Fernando, I'm looking to hear from you. Heel Vega, all the regulars, I'm looking to hear from you. Don't be too shy. Ask anything that you want to know, and this is going to be your opportunity to be a part of the Tristen Law Show. I'm looking forward to this. I do this for you guys, and I enjoy being here with you. But what Jess and I are talking about today, we're talking about WWE's AI scandal. Is ChatGPT booking Raw or SmackDown? Right now, AI is in Hollywood. Hollywood writers went on strike, Jess. They went on strike all because they wanted to limit the amount of work that AI can do. Ubisoft, like I said, they're using AI for NPC, non-playable character dialogue, and it's not the main narrative. The publishing world, they're overwhelmed by AI spam. There's so much garbage out there that's being promoted by AI. But the key issue, like I said, about AI is that it lacks understanding of emotional nuance, originality, and timing. AI only knows what it knows, right? It doesn't know what it doesn't know. And sometimes they call it a hallucination. It just freestyles and makes things up.
Yeah, but that's because somebody behind that screen typed that way.
True.
Because, again, at the end of the day, it is still a human writing it down. Like, if you go on ChatGPT right now, what's the first thing you see on ChatGPT? It says, ask anything. It ain't going to just, it ain't like old days where, there was this old joint, like way back in the day of old internet, where it was like Ask Bob or Ask somebody.
Oh, it was Ask Jeeves. It was Ask Jeeves.
It was Ask Jeeves. And Ask Jeeves was on that same stuff. And we all knew that Jeeves was on some BS. Like, we all knew it.
Right.
So, it like you said, it's not new at all. It's more so... I almost lost my train of thought there. I think it's supposed to be everything's supposed to be an assistant, not a replacement. But going back to the strike and why they shouldn't unionize, because remember why they went on writer's strike, right? This all kicked up. Just a little recap of why they did go on that writer's strike is because when streaming came out in about 2019, 2020, they never put that in the contracts for the writers. It was never in the contract. So when stuff like Black Widow and everything started coming out, they was only seeing pennies. Actors and writers were only seeing pennies of that. And then going back to AI generated content, this is a Black Mirror episode. Joan is Awful. That's the episode. It's called Joan is Awful. You
do watch a lot of Netflix. I see that from your threads.
Yeah, man. I love Netflix. Between them and Hulu, those are my oh, and Peacock. Those are my three right there. Hulu, Netflix, and Peacock, and Disney.
And when
because I'm a Disney princess on the inside.
When you get the VPN, you don't really need all of those. But sorry, I digress.
See, don't start with me, Trish. Don't start. But either way, the point of the matter is that all of it cannot be used unless you allow it to. So this is why I'm like, when y'all are writing and when y'all are talking in these rooms, make sure you're reading. Make sure you're reading what you're signing up for.
True.
They're not going to take your stuff. They're not going to take who you are. They're not going to take your humanization if you don't sign it away.
True. You remember there was an episode of South Park, Jess, and that episode of South Park. In the episode of South Park, they were talking about when people were signing up for Apple. And like you don't read the terms of service, so now you end up being a slave to Apple. And then Apple said, "Fine, we'll let you out of it. Just go ahead and sign this new terms of service." Haha, you did it, but you're a slave again because you didn't read. Now, look, I'm not going to lie. I've probably read the terms of service more times than I don't know. I don't really read the terms of service when it looks into the whole thing. Looking in the chat, Fernando says that streaming me, and it's going to be a fun 5-hour stream. Fernando, man. I am looking forward to you being there the whole entire time. Tell everybody.
Me too.
Don't make it a secret. Look, Jess and everybody else has the easy work, right?
Yeah,
but
man.
I'm going to be here 5 hours long, and if you're going to be here 5 hours long too, you're an OG for that. But Fernando also continues to say that AI is going to decide who goes over as well, and will it know how to pivot sometimes? Yeah, you know what? That's a good
Absolutely.
question. That's a good question. If they're going to make it do one thing, why not just make it do everything?
Why? Because again, it's going to take away from the humanization. You don't want that. Wait, he's talking about AI, right?
Yes, AI. Yes.
You have to work. No, I'm sorry, Fernando, but we're still here. We're still humans. We still want to work. We just need help. We can't.
No, but he's saying though that he's asking, is AI going to decide who goes over as well, and will it know who to pivot? Is AI talking about who is going to win also? And I came back with a comment. I said, well, you know what? If you're going to have AI do one thing, why not just make it do everything if it's already here?
No, because that's when it goes to the human part. That's where I feel like that's when us as humans should be doing that. Like for example, let's say I get on ChatGPT right now, and I say, write a storyline about Penta and El Grande Americano, where it goes all the way to the next PLE.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, Penta wins. Right? That's me. That's me saying at the end of the day, Penta is going to win.
And if I was
no
prompting
matter how many times we roll around it, Penta is going to win in the end.
If I was prompting that, I would prompt it some way different. I would say, if I was using the writer AI thing, I would say, okay, I wouldn't tell it to make Penta win. I would say, decide at the end of the story based on everything that you know, because remember, it has all the WWE storylines pumped in there. Let it decide, but not only decide, but justify why. And then what I would do as a writer is I would bring it to the writer team and I would say, well, this is why it justified this versus that. Now let's talk about why we feel that it should be this versus that. For me, I feel that's okay, because you're still putting the human effort into it. But here's where it gets even stickier. Because even if AI gets better, it still opens a can of worms. Let's talk about the ethics as related to AI, right? AI works can't be copyrighted in the US. It's a legal risk. That's why I still have to touch it. Under current US Copyright Office policy, any creative work without human authorship can't be copyrighted. So that means that WWE couldn't really own an AI written storyline, script, or promo without significant human editing documented in the process. If WWE tried to claim full ownership, it could open disputes over authorships and protection. Legal analysis have warned that AI generated scripts might fall into public domain by default. WWE's workaround, keep human writers as editors to validate copyright, even if the bulk of the work comes from AI. I don't know. But it sets up the irony. To make it legal, humans still have to touch it. WWE owns its content, but what if AI regurgitates non-WWE IP? What if it decides that John Cena is going to be the best in the world? What if it decides that Tyra Valkyrie is going to be Big Bird and that is her cousin?
That's kind of cute.
No,
I
no,
want to say the
she
kids would
still
like
is
that.
silly.
I'm sorry.
She's still
Like,
silly.
oh, Sesame Street. That would be kind of cute, wouldn't it? But anyway, all of it just goes back to the same thing. It all is our decision. You just said that it's always going to be this versus that, or that versus this, and we have to decide which one we want to go with, or not go with any of it at all.
So I'm looking at this whole entire thing, and I think that AI models like Rider AI, they're trained on decades of existing data, and that includes like old creative references, pop culture, possibly from non-WWE. The risk is that AI could accidentally reproduce or remix copyrighted things like I'm talking about. Like imagine seeing Marvel-style angels or something from New Japan. Imagine AI writing a storyline that mirrors a whole entire Bullet Club feud, and WWE airs it because they live in a bubble and they don't know. This is a gray zone for nightmare for corporate legal matters. WWE's legal department would likely need to pre-approve filters or human review of all AI output before it hits TV.
There we go.
The thing is,
you
that
hit it right on the man. Hey, give yourself a round of applause, Trish,
again,
because I just want you to say you are on it.
You think so?
Yeah, man. Because I mean, you're seeing it. Me, you know me. I'm more of the outside looking in. I'm looking through the big window. You're inside the building. You know, you're giving us the perspective of what it, you know, as I'm just going to call you a pro wrestler, rather you're retired or not. You are a wrestler, right? So you know that if this was to come around into your doorstep, this could either benefit you or not benefit you.
True. And the thing about wrestling is that it thrives on connection, the sense that passion, emotion, and creativity, it drives the show. If fans knew an algorithm wrote the feud, would it still feel soulless or inauthentic? Would it feel that way even if the story worked? I think it's the, wow. I just thought about this in my head. I'm about to get real disrespectful right now. It's like T-Pain. It's the auto-tune effect for storytelling. Even when it sounds perfect, people still sense that it's fake.
Yeah. Well, how about this? Yeah, we might have an inkling, but why let that sit there and mess up you as a human?
Right.
As a storyteller, don't you like the storytelling? Now, like, come on now. Everybody's not going to be happy.
True.
But you want fresh, you want new ideas, and there's nothing wrong with recycling old ideas to make new ideas.
True.
We do this all the time. Because what's wrong with recycling?
Because
there's nothing wrong.
But the thing that I look at though, right, is that if as a wrestler, who do I pitch to? Do I pitch to the writers or do I pitch to ChatGPT? You know, and it could lead to a quiet resistance or even a public pushback if the talent feels replaced by tech. It brings up the long-term risk. Does AI undermine the collaborative heart of pro wrestling?
But I don't think they're going to be replaced by technology. I think the whole point of this was AI taking over the storytelling. Mostly the storytelling. Now, if you want to bring back old wrestlers and make up these fantasy bookings and stuff like that, then that's fine. That's fine. But again, everybody that you're using the likeness of has to be benefited off of.
Sure. I agree.
Can't just, you just can't take, because Bianca Belair is signed with the WWE, I'm just going to take her face and she's going to fight China in the next match. Right. And you didn't even ask her. You know what I'm saying? You didn't sit her down in the room and say, listen, this is the idea that we have for you. Now, it does have some AI senses in there. Would you agree to us using your likeness to create this story? And she could be like, yeah, as long as I have some creativity within it.
You see, the whole way that I'm looking at this whole entire thing is that, can AI help balance the continuity when you look at the whole pro wrestling thing? But yeah, maybe it might. It might track feuds, match history. WWE's biggest creative issue has always been long-term continuity, stories that disappear or contradict themselves. Like AI, a database could reference past matches, feuds, results, stipulations, injuries, or even alliance, and preventing logical errors, but somebody still has to look it. Because look, before writing a new bloodline angle, the system could flag, hey, this contradicts SmackDown number 1421, where Jey Uso already did that turn. It could act as an assistant writer, keeping story, God forgive me for this, but keeping Bibles organized across the brands. It might even produce, quick timeline summaries for broadcast. But the thing is, in theory, AI can analyze social engagement, crowd reactions, YouTube views, because at this day and age, talking about, the views on television are so much lower. Views on television don't mean anything when you are looking at it from the realm of your views on social media. Your merch sales on social media views, they mean everything, if you ask me. It could spot rising stars earlier than management. Hey, this NXT's wrestlers online momentum is spiking 40% this month. It might lead to maybe people like Maxine Dupree would have gotten pushed a lot sooner. Maybe we wouldn't have to wait for her to go in there and wrestle Becky Lynch now. Maybe she could have been the first Intercontinental Championship. I don't know.
Could have. Who knows? But it opens up that benefit. But I do want to just circle back to one more thing before we go.
Go ahead.
I definitely think that I agree with you that it would help the people that are injured. Like, again, if they can organize it where it's like PTO. It's like, yeah, you're hurt and you're recovering, but your likeness is still being used so we can finish off the storyline. Because come on now, with Liv, what did she break her
dislocated her arm or something like that? Yeah,
something right after and then when that happened, we found out there was like about 3 different storylines that they wrote for Liv Morgan that they all had to shelf because Liv Morgan is hurt. No, so say that she signed a contract saying that they could use my likeness so we could continue on the story. And I know for a fact that I'm still going to get paid like I'm there. Would you not want to do it?
I would still be. I mean, I don't know. See, that's the whole tough part for me. But I you see, from listening to you talk previous episodes, Jess, I feel like the most important thing for you is the safety of the wrestlers, and you always talk about, this wrestler's injured and stuff like that. So yeah, maybe it might help injured wrestlers one way or another. But look, if you had to book one match or a feud for WWE in 2026, what would you want the whole entire AI to generate? Go ahead and put that in the comments, and we'll talk about it later on. But let's go ahead and land this plane, because I feel like we've been in the air for a little bit. So here we are. WWE is dipping its toe into the future where machines pitch the matches and computers, they shape the characters. Some people say it's smart, efficient, data-driven, maybe even visionary. Others say it's a shortcut. Some say it's a gimmick or a flat-out betrayal of what wrestling should be. But one thing is for sure. The story of AI in wrestling is just getting started, and whether it ends in triumph or tragedy, it's got our attention. Well, that's WWE's AI scandal. It's ChatGPT booking Raw and SmackDown. 80% of you say that WWE should not use AI to create storylines. Thank you so much for everybody in the chat, Fernando. Thank you so much, Maria, and everybody else that watched silently in the back. My name is Tristen Law, and she's Jess the Captain. We'll be back Wednesday at noon. This is Tristen Law. I'm Tristen Law. This is the Tristen Law Show, and we'll see you next time.